Alright guys, so today I'm going to be showing you this pretty awesome mathematical card trick that anyone can really do. You just have to practice it a little bit, but it's pretty easy, so this is the performance for it right now. So over here we have a deck of cards, and we actually only need about half the deck, so I'm just going to have the spectator say stop at around half the cards. Let's say they say stop at about there, so we can actually eliminate the rest of the deck. We will not be needing to use it for this trick. So here's about half the deck here, and we should actually count how many cards we have here. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. Okay, so 27 cards here. Yeah, that's about half the deck. I think 26 is exactly half. So I'm going to have the spectator just say what's their favorite number between 1 and 27. It can be random, or it can actually have like a meaning behind it. So let's say they say their favorite number is 11, for example. And I say, really, is there any reason why your favorite number is 11? They just say, no real reason. It's just sort of random. And I say, perfect, that's fine. So I'm going to give the deck to you to shuffle here. So they're going to shuffle all these cards up, and they're keeping their number 11 in the back of their head, okay? So now they've shuffled these cards. I'm going to spread out all the cards here on the table, and I'm actually going to have them mentally select any of these cards. So by that, I just mean think of any one of these cards. So they are literally allowed to think of any of these cards. But since I don't have a spectator, well, I'll just think of one together. So let's say they're thinking of the Ace of Hearts over here. All right. So in the real performance, me being the magician, I would have no idea what card they're thinking of. They could be thinking of any of these cards. So let's say they're thinking of the Ace of Hearts, and I say, all right, so perfect. Once you've mentally selected a card, don't even say it out loud. Go ahead and shuffle the cards. So now they're going to continue to shuffle the cards, and all they're doing is thinking of one of the cards in here. There's literally no way I can know what card they're thinking of. So now I'm going to say, all right, so I'm having a little bit of trouble trying to read what it is, and I haven't done this in a while, so I'm going to ask you to give me sort of a head start. So I'm going to just deal out the cards like this, and all I want you to do is keep track of where your card ends up. And remember, since we have 27 cards here, I can actually deal them out into 3 even piles of 9 cards each. So all you have to do is tell me which pile your card is in. And their card is the Ace of Hearts, and they see it in this pile over here. But me being the magician, I still don't know what their card is, so I'm going to have to try and figure out what their card is just by looking through here. So I have them think of their card, and interesting. Okay, I'm not entirely sure, so we'll do this one more time here. I think I just need to sort of spread the cards out a little bit more. I think this will definitely help me get it a little bit better. So once again, just keep track of where your card is. So which pile was your card in? The middle one here? Okay, perfect. So let me just see. Okay, I think, I'm getting a sense your card, it wasn't a red card, was it? It was. Okay, interesting. I'm pretty sure it was a red card. And now, I think with this last one, I think I'll definitely be able to get it. Okay. Just remember which pile it's in, and that's all you have to do. So which pile is it in? The middle one more time. Okay. Okay, I think I got it. Yes, okay, I'm definitely positive what your card is. So I know exactly what your card is, and I know you probably don't believe me, but I'm going to prove it to you right now. Remember that number that you came up with in the beginning, between 1 and 27? What was that number that you thought of? And they said the number 11, right? So I said, what if I took your thought of card and I actually put it in the 11th position? There's no way that would be possible because I have no idea what card you picked. But let's count 11 cards down and see. So what was your card for the first time? Just name it out loud. Ace of Hearts. Look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. The Ace of Hearts. If it would have been 12, 5 of Hearts, 13, King of Spades, all these different cards here. They could have thought of any of these cards. They could have named any number, and this works every single time. So now I'm going to show you guys how to perform this amazing trick. Alright guys, so here's the tutorial for the trick that you just saw. I'm going to try my best to explain how the math works and how you're going to get any thought of card to appear in any selected number in this 27 card packet. So we're going to get started by explaining how you're going to basically do all the steps in your head in order to stack the piles correctly in order to place their card in the right position. So the entire reason for all the math that you're doing is when you have the 3 piles, right? And when they tell you which pile it's in, there's a very specific specific order that you need to stack the piles in. So you can't just put them all back together randomly. You have to put them back together in a specific way depending on which number they chose. So I'm going to be explaining how to do this process right now. So it's pretty simple. Let's think of the number 27, okay? So we have basically just 3 groups of 9, and we're going to be starting out with all the numbers between 1 and 9. And also, we're going to completely forget about 0. The number 0 is not included in this trick, so we're only going to be thinking about 1 through 9 for this first part of the trick. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that's one group here. 4, 5, 6 for another group. And then we have 7, 8, and 9 for the third group. So this is just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? This here is one group. This here is one group, and this here is one group. So this here, 1, 2, 3, we're gonna call this the bottom group. So this is the bottom group here. This here, 4, 5, 6, this is the middle group, okay? So this is middle here, and then this last group here, 7, 8, 9, is the top group, just like this, all right? Bottom, 1, 2, 3, middle, 4, 5, 6, and top, 7, 8, 9. So within these 3 groups, these 3 numbers can actually be divided into sort of, subdivisions within their own group. So if you look at here at the bottom group, the number 1 is the bottom number of that group, right? Because it's the first one. The 2 is the middle number of that group because it's the middle one. And then 3 is the top number of that group. And you do that for every single number. So 4 is actually the bottom number of the middle group here. 5 is the middle number of the middle group, and 6 is the top number of the middle group. 7 is the bottom, 8 is the middle, and 9 is the top. So now here, if you look here, now we have 3 divisions of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 as the bottom group, the middle group, and the top group. And within those subdivisions, each of those numbers is either the bottom, the middle, or the top of that specific group. Now we're gonna spread out a little bit. Now we're gonna go a little bit bigger scale, because now we're dealing with the numbers 1 through 27. So that's gonna be the third aspect of this trick. So within the numbers of 1 to 27, you can split those into 3 groups as well. You have the numbers 1 through 9 as the bottom group, okay? You also have the numbers 10 through 18 as the middle. That's the middle group. Then you also have 19 through 27 as the top group. All right, guys, so I know I might be losing you here, but trust me, this is all going to make sense right now, I promise you. They're literally allowed to think of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. And depending on which number they choose from, you're going to be sort of determining from this bottom, middle, top, and bottom, middle, top. These 3 divisions here are going to help you decide which order you need to stack the piles in. So let's say the spectator selects a 2-digit number. Let's say the spectator selects the number 11, like they did in the performance. The first step, take their 2-digit number, and you're going to have to take the 2 digits and add them together to create one single-digit number. So 11, 1 and 1, if you add 1 plus 1 together, that equals 2. That's easy, right? So now you're going to take that single number, and you're going to look at it in this section right here. Which section is it in? Okay, it's in the bottom section. And then you're going to note which position is it in within that section. So the number 2 is the middle number of the bottom group, okay? So that's going to be your first 2 steps. It's the middle number of the bottom group. So you're going to start small, and then you're going to spread out bigger and bigger for each designated pile setting. So basically, start out with the very small subdivision. So number 2 is the middle card, and then find out which group it's in within 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then what you're going to do is forget about 2. Now you're just going to look at the number 11. That was the original number that they chose, right? Which group does that fall in of the overall, groupings of like 1 through 9, 10 through 18, 19 through 27? Does 11 fall between 1 and 9? Does 11 go between 10 and 18? Or does 11 go between 19 and 27? So obviously 11 is in this middle group here because it falls between 10 and 18. It's right after 10. So that would mean the last thing that you do is going to be middle. So now my basic code for number 11 is going to be middle, bottom, middle, because 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 is the middle number of the bottom group, and the number 11 is in the middle group overall. And that's going to be the basic code for every single number that they choose. I know exactly what you're thinking now. So they could potentially choose a 2-digit number, but what if they choose a number 1 through 9 as their actual number? They could just choose one of these single-digit numbers. What would you do then? Because you wouldn't have to add the digits. Well, that's exactly right. You don't actually have to add the digits at all. All you have to do is, let's say they say the number 6 as their chosen number. We're going to look at number 6. We don't even have to add the digits. We just go straight to the source. So the second step is to go into the smallest subdivision here. So you can see it's the top number of the middle group here. 4, 5, 6 is the middle group, and 6 is the topmost number of the middle group. So that's going to be your first two codes, top, middle. And then 6, obviously it's a single digit number, so that's going to mean it falls between 1 and 9. So that's going to mean it's going to be in the bottom group. So your code for number 6 is going to be top, middle, bottom, and that's going to be the order that you stack the piles in. Now, that might not make sense right now, but I'm going to explain how to stack the piles exactly in the end. But basically, when you stack the piles, the code of like top, middle, bottom, or whatever the code is, because it's going to be a different code for every single number, the code of top, middle, bottom for number 6 in this case, the pile with their card is going to fall into these spots. So the pile with their card, you're going to first put it on the top, then you're going to put it in the middle, and then you're going to put it on the bottom when you do the whole dealing out process 3 times. And if you do those processes 3 times, the math will just work out, and their card, no matter how many times it was shuffled in the deck, it will end up at the 6th position. So let's keep this here for now. I'll just move it out to the side and we'll come back to it in just a little bit. But now I'm going to show you guys how to actually sort of do this with a deck of cards here. So remember, you need 27 cards exactly, and that will be enough for this trick, and they can be all different cards, and the spectator can completely shuffle them. Before they even select a card, you want them to say the number out loud. When they say the number out loud, you're going to start doing, like the coding process in your mind. So let's just say they name a 2-digit number. So let's say they say the number 19. The first step, remember, you have to add the 2 digits together. So 19 is 1 and 9. 1 plus 9 is 10. Now this is actually an interesting situation. Since you have 10, which, you can't really do that one because the number 10 doesn't fall within these subdivisions because it only goes 1 to 9. So what do you do when it's 10? You can actually just eliminate the 0, because if you go to the number 10, you can actually just add the digits again. So 1 plus 0 would be 1, and then you just go from there. So 19, you would see the number 1 from the added digits. The number 1 is the bottom number of the bottom group. So that would be your first 2 assignments, bottom, bottom, and the number 19 is on top. So then you would do bottom, bottom, top for the number 19. So these are all shuffled. You're gonna have the spectator mentally select any card, so they don't even have to pick it out and return it. They can literally just think of a card as you spread it out. So let's say they're thinking of like the ace of spades in this case, because that's just an easy card to follow. We don't really have to think about it. Their number is 19 and their card is the ace of spades, and also the cards are completely shuffled, so all these cards can be completely mixed up. So how you're going to basically do this is you're just going to start by dealing the cards out face up into 3 rows, just like this. And you're just going to go through this, and you actually have no idea what the card is they selected. And this is perfect because you don't really have to pay attention to what these cards are. During this entire sequence, if you want to, you can actually be sort of, mentally calculating where to stack the piles. You can be doing all the coding stuff in your head as you deal out all the cards, because it can be kind of a boring process. So what I like to do first I like to add the digits of 1 and 9. So I would say 1 and 9 is 10. Oh wait, it's a 0, so I can actually get rid of the 0, so it would be 1. So 1 is the bottom number of the bottom group. So the first thing I know is going to be bottom. That's really all I have to think about now. So they point to which pile it's in, and they say it was this one here, and you still have no idea what the card is. All you know is you have to put it on the bottom. So you're just going to be going through pretending like you're getting a sense of what the card is and say, I'm getting kind of a hard time. This pile here, since it has their card, you're going to just put it on the bottom because it has their card, and that was the first code. And these 2 piles will just go on top of it. And since these don't have their card, they really don't have to be ordered any specific way. That one could go on the bottom, or this one could go on the top. It doesn't matter. All that matters is the one with their card has to go on the bottom. So that's going to go on the bottom there. And now you're just going to pick up the cards just like this and deal them out one more time exactly as you did before. And just make sure not to mix up the order of the cards. So now you're going to do the second subdivision. So now you're going to go a little bit bigger. You're going to spread out a little bit. So first you did the bottom. The number 1 of the added digits, the number 1 is the bottom one of the bottom group. So that means you're gonna have to do bottom one more time because you're sort of spreading out again, and now you know your second code is bottom. So they point to the pile that it's in, and they say this one here. You still have no idea which one it is, but you're gonna just pretend like it's in here and just kind of be like, not entirely sure. And then just put this one on the bottom again. So you're just going to put it on the bottom. And now all you're going to do is do it one more time, deal out all the cards into 3 piles. Now you know the original number that they selected was the number 19. The number 19 falls between the topmost group, which is 19 and 27. So obviously you're going to have to put their pile on top. So they're going to point to the pile. I actually forget. It was in this one here. And this one's gonna have to go on top. So now you're just gonna say, okay, I think I got it. And just make sure this pile goes on top. So now that pile with their card goes on top, and basically everything is done now. You just ask what the number is and they say 19. Now you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Their card will always be there. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much the entire trick, and you just have to practice the math part. And if you guys don't understand how to do the math part at all, I apologize. I tried my best to explain it in this video, but please leave questions in the comment section below and I will do my best to answer all of them. So one more thing I would like to add is I really like this mathematical card trick, and I kind of just wanted to try and spice it up a little bit by not just having it, you know, like a basic mathematical card trick where you're just dealing out piles for no reason and then you're just stacking them again and just doing it all over again for no reason. In Magic, there has to be a reason for why you're doing the trick. So basically the reason why I was doing all that is, in this case, my pattern was that I haven't really done this mind reading thing in a while and I kind of need to have a head start. So I'm gonna have the spectator help me out by just telling me the pile that their card is in. They don't have to tell me what the card is, but they just have to tell me what the pile is. And that's sort of my pattern for this trick. So that's my reason for why I do that. If you guys can incorporate that, or if you guys want to come up with your own pattern, try and make this trick a little bit more interesting, because there's really no purpose to this trick if you're just dealing out cards, telling them which pile it's in, and then immediately just stacking them up. Like, it's very suspicious if you do that. So you have to add some element of mind reading into it, and that will make it much more interesting and much more believable. So anyways, guys, that's going to be the video for today. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and see you guys for my next one. Bye.